So is creating mental health content a relevant thing right now? So stay tuned if you want to find out why. Hey guys, how is it going? Josh here. So I am a mental health professional, and in this channel I'll be uploading a lot of things about mental health and psychology, which is sort of my passion. And if you find this channel interesting, you might want to consider hitting the subscribe button below so you'll be updated in my future contents. So to answer your first question, is creating mental health contents a relevant thing right now? Well, absolutely yes. Ever since COVID-19 happened, I myself had experienced a decline in my own mental health, and I find it challenging to cope up with this because my way of living shifted. But for the most people, they might have the same challenges as well, same as mine, but the education and awareness that is actually existing within our community is very lacking. And luckily, as a psychology graduate, I was able to find certain ways in order for my mental health to get back to its normal shape. But for those people, it's going to be a real challenge for them. And when we say it's challenging, maybe it's because certain people are having a hard time to admit that they are experiencing certain mental health challenges because of the stigma and discrimination that actually exists within the mental health realm. Before this COVID-19 pandemic, according to the World Health Organization, mental illness affects 19% of the adult population, 46% of the teenager population, and 13% comes from the children population. And this is actually very alarming because, as we can see, more teenagers are having mental health challenges. And mainly this is because teenagers nowadays are more focusing on social media, and social media is a very powerful tool that actually affects our mental health. And just to give you as well a side note, only half of those percentages are actually receiving actual treatments from mental health professionals. And this is very alarming because if mental health illnesses are untreated, higher medical expenses and poorer performance in school and work could actually be the result of this. And because of those factors that affects mental health, we will be having a less and less productive society in the future. And in 2012 alone, according to the World Health Organization as well, that there are 2,588 Filipinos who are committing suicide each year. So to get that on a detailed perspective, there are 7 Filipinos who are committing suicide each day. So we don't know, maybe right now there are someone who is committing suicide, but hopefully there's none, because that's very scary. That is very alarming, because from that standpoint, we must realize that we should take importance of mental health. And given all those numbers, all those data, this actually comes the next question that I always ask myself. Why am I advocating for mental health? I decided to pursue this passion of mine because not just that I work for this field professionally, and not just also for the reason that I've known people who is dear to my heart who is battling certain mental health challenges, but it's because I feel socially responsible about it. Since I've chosen to study this field, then I know that I must bring something to the table within the mental health realm. But truthfully, here in the Philippines, admit it or not, we truly lack a certain provision on how are we going to address mental health problems here in our country. But thank God we have the Senate Bill number 1354, also known as the Mental Health Act of 2012, which is sponsored by the Senator Risa Ontiveros. So I am so glad that the Philippines is actually starting to address this on a national level. But as we can see, in this Mental Health Act of 2012, it's still a challenge for each and every one of us, especially for mental health professional, to actually enact what this law is actually telling us to do. It is because here in the Philippines, we lack awareness and we lack education about mental health. That's why I'm doing this YouTube channel. This is for you guys. I want you guys to be aware on how are you guys going to take care of your mental health. And it is important. You should treat your mental health the same as your physical health. If people are treating that they have fever, they have flu, so it is also the same with our mental health. That we feel sad if we have this certain anxiety that we cannot speak out. Speak it out, guys. Speak it out, because it is important. It starts when you admit that you are facing a certain challenges in your mind. And when you admitted that you are experiencing this kind of stuff, all the help comes through it. we have a lot of mental health professionals here in the Philippines. What's lacking is that there are those people who have these challenges in themselves because of the stigma and the discrimination. And this is also one of my reasons why am I doing this, bringing in awareness. If people are aware on how mental health problems are existing, then we will not be judging each other anymore. That's the bottom line of it. And because all of those things that is happening around us, this actually triggered the fire in me to work on it, to spread awareness, to educate people, to save lives. If people are asking questions that mental health is not as deadly as cancer, then why do we have a lot of numbers about people who are committing suicide, especially here in the Philippines, especially in Asian countries where suicide rates are really high compared to the Western countries? Because in Western countries, people actually admitted that they have mental health problems. But here in the Philippines, we have the stigma that exists within this realm, and I find it very sad. I find it very intriguing in a way because the government doesn't give that much of an importance to it, but it is actually important. And with all of this initiative, YouTube is a great platform for this. And if mental health advocates like me also have this initiative and this willingness to do this, now is the right time to do this, okay? Now is the great time, because with all of the negativities that is actually happening in the world is in need of positive content creators like you, who can create and spread awareness, who can spread hope, who can save lives. We need you. As content creators, it is important that we people should create contents that would help people on how are they going to improve their lives. Because as you can see, especially right now with the COVID-19 pandemic, people are in their phones 24/7. And when people are on their phones, what is actually happening is they are grasping all of the information that they are reading coming in from the internet. And admit it or not, there are a lot of negative contents that is actually circulating the internet comparing to positive ones. As we speak about educating the public and spreading awareness about mental health, this is also a great opportunity for me to shout out to our organization, Project Damhin, which is an organization which aims to inform and spread awareness about the importance of mental health. And we actually kickstarted this initiative last April, and we started this first through a donation drive that would actually help our frontliners here in the Philippines while giving a free emotional first aid bookmarks. And from this own initiative, we actually raised an amount of almost 40,000 pesos for our frontliners. And also, please consider hitting the like button for our Facebook page of Project Damhin, and also please consider following us on Instagram. So I'll be putting down the links below of our social media platforms. And as we end my first ever content for this initiative, I would like to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for tuning in this far. If you also want to share a tip on how do you usually cope up with the certain challenges that we have in this COVID-19 pandemic, feel free to comment it down below so people would also see your ways. And again, thank you guys for tuning in. Watch out. Peace out. Kapow.